Hello, I am the narrator, and before this episode begins, George will be talking about a bit of a tropical pet that you can own. Without further ado, the show begins. Good morning, everybody. My name is George, and today we're going to be talking about the Mandarin fish. Information about the animal and what it looks like. Now, the Mandarin fish is a pet, but it's an advanced pet that needs a bit more care, which is mainly due to its eating habits. It used to be thought that if a mandarin was placed into a tank with a ton of live rock, that fish would be able to thrive. Unfortunately, this has not provided to be the case in most instances. Before long, the mandarin would consume the copepod population and then slowly starve to death. To make this as easy as possible to digest, the mandarin fish cannot comprehend how much it needs to eat compared to how much it desires to eat. This little fish also is saltwater. Now, another thing to look at is how it looks. This little mandarin fish is very colorful. It has many different colors like blue, red, orange, and green on its skin. I just had a brain fart. Yes, this fish does not have scales. It is smooth like a shark. An estimated lifespan of about 10 to 15 years. However, it is not uncommon for them to live for about 2 to 4 years in a house aquarium. The mandarin fish can have a full life, but from time to time, they just don't have a full lifespan. And it's not because of an illness. Where they live, how long they live, and how do they get their food? The mandarin fish is a wild fish, so it lives in a few different areas in the ocean. I have a bit of a list here. So, it lives in the Indo-Pacific oceans, coral triangles, Great Barrier Reefs, as well as Malaysia. Thank you, doctor. Malaysia, as well as Indonesia, Australia, and the Philippines. I know that last one doesn't rhyme. See, it's, it also likes to live in other areas like the dead coral reefs, lagoons, as well as shallow reef beds. What they eat, and what are their predators? Its scientific name. The copepods are a great source of food for these mandarin fish. Another thing that they can eat is shrimp. Now, mandarin fishes are more on the wild side, so they like to go for things that are living, breathing, and moving. That's how they catch their prey. But if you want to start feeding them frozen shrimp, first you need to transfer the mandarin fish into what's known as a breeding tank, also known as the QT. Continue feeding the fish live shrimp, but here and there add a frozen shrimp, and slowly but surely add more and more until the point where the mandarin fish is finally eating nothing but frozen shrimp. That is your cue to transfer the fish back into the original tank and continue feeding him frozen shrimp. Also, note, if you do by chance keep the mandarin fish in a tank full of different species of sea critters, you have to be aware that the other fishes have to eat the same speed as the mandarin fish, otherwise they will not get any food. A good example of having another sea creature in with the mandarin fish are seahorses. Feeding them can sometimes be a problem because they prefer to eat a specific live food called copepods. It is here to keep enough live copepods in the tank to keep the mandarin alive. Feeding this little fish will probably always be the main problem. Not because it's picky, but because of its wild instinct for its main source of food. The mandarin's fish scientific name is Synchironus splendidus. Thank you, doctor. Is Spicupinus splendidus.
Its mating habits and some random facts.
In ancient China, the Chinese official robes were made of these colors, which is why the fish was named Mandarin in the first place. Another thing is, to know if the fish is a male or female is all in the spine.
The difference between male and female, and what is it related to?
The last one for the day. Male mandarins have an elongated first dorsal fin when compared with females. I'm sure you people are not educatedly equipped to know what a dorsal fin is, but basically, it is a part of the spine that starts from the bottom of the neck all the way down to the rib cage. Since the male has a longer dorsal fin, that means they have a longer torso. Lastly, there are a few different species in the mandarin fish. There is also the red mandarin fish, as well as the spotted mandarin.
Questions.
Now it's finally time for a good old section called questions. I have a question right here. Get ready. Are mandarin fish toxic because of their bright colors? Now, we all know that if an animal of any type of kingdom, if it has bright colors, it is telling its predators that it is toxic. The mandarin is no exception. It is, in fact, toxic. But, it has no needles, so if you get poked by it, you're not gonna die. In fact, it actually has this mucus type stuff that covers its entire body. Is toxic when ingested. Which is kind of oozes out of its skin, because this fish does not have scales. And with that, that is unfortunately the end of the episode. If you are fascinated by the mandarin fish, there are links in the description that go more into detail about all of the information we found about it. If you've enjoyed, please leave a like, subscribe, and have a nice day. Good night! I can assure you there should be at least a blooper. This is the end of the video, end of the video, end of the video. Pew pew. End of the video, end of the video. This is the end of the video. Pew pew. Pew pew. Pew pew. End of the video, end of the video, end of the video. Oh oh.